Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the AMPC webinar today on industry training and documentation for the RFP training. So today we've got Dr. Mary Wu from AMIC, who's going to do a little bit of an introduction, and then we've got Tanya, who I'm sure everyone would almost know around the webinar today, from MINTRAC. She has been working in the back end tirelessly for a long period of time, getting this training up and running. So, and we've also got Matt O'Brien on, who's the program manager from AMPC, who will be, I'll hand over to him in a minute, and he will sort of do a bit more of a further introduction on the project. This was all done as part of an AMPC project, and was really well facilitated and coordinated between the three organisations, MINTRAC, AMIC and AMPC. So anyone that hasn't been on one of our webinars before, we really encourage questions. You'll have a question bar on your toolbar on the side. If you type the question in, then at the appropriate time, Matt will ask either of the presenters the question, and hopefully we should be able to answer all the questions during today's session. Matt, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and welcome everybody to the training for the industry for requests for permits. It's been a really important thing for us, as we know that the documentation that we've got to have is got to be pretty much spot on and consistent through all the work that we submit for our papers for export. So to that end, you know, we've seen a couple of things that we see that we can improve on, and based on that, AMIC, MINTRAC and AMPC have gotten together and really put forth this bit of training, which I'll hand over to Mary Wu now to give a bit more of an intro on. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Amanda. Is the presentation up?
Yes, it is, Mary.
Yes.
Thank you. Lovely. Now, so I just wanted to take this group through just a couple of points before Tanya gets into the guts of the course. And I just wanted to focus a little bit on, you know, the genesis of this course and why it was developed, the purpose of it, and how it's sort of disseminated now within the industry. And then obviously Tanya will do the quick run through of the course. So in terms of the genesis, obviously we started this conversation following the 2017 establishment suspensions, where obviously very quickly we noticed that there was a huge impact with those suspensions, and at the time we were looking at specifically what were the causes of those suspensions, and you know, a lot of the technical issues were cited at the time. So, you know, things like where the, for example, the carton labels didn't, the inner and outer labels didn't match, or there was a health certificate mismatch with the product, or there was, you know, a date that was printed wrong that then translated into batch code issues. So there were a couple of those issues that came through, after which the Department of Ag published a notice, MN 2017-04, with the China Enhanced Verification and Audit Procedures. So that meat notice has now been superseded, and I'll talk about meat notice 2020-04. But in the interim, there has been a number of monthly reports that the Chinese Customs publishes, which basically are of the non-compliances that have been reported, not just from Australia, but from the globally, all the products that are being sent into the market. And out of that, obviously, we have been very closely watching the non-compliances from the Australian side and the causes of those non-compliances. Subsequent to that, we have had a number of China Trade Group meetings. So the China Trade Group involves the Department of Ag, DFAT, AMIC, MLA, AMPC, as well as industry reps. So effectively, we came together and said, you know, how do we protect the industry from further being knocked off on the China list? And as a consequence of that, we went through this process of actually developing this particular course to basically try and reduce our risks into the China market. That being said, the principles of this course, it's about ensuring certification and labelling integrity, and obviously provides an overview of the whole documentation process that can actually be used fairly widely through, not just applicable to China. It's the principles of which it's actually applicable to all markets. And then subsequent to that, obviously we've had the 2020 May suspensions, after which there was a MITRAC notice 2020-04 that was issued by the department, on which reinforced the importing country requirement compliances, particularly for China. And in particular, you can see on the screen that it's about ensuring inner and outer labels match the trade descriptions, match batch numbers, which then have to match the export documentation. Very keen focus around the number of cartons and the volumes in the consignment that has to match. And it's about ensuring that there is cold chain integrity as well through the correlation with China establishments with their correlated cold stores, as well as port of entry notification processes. So if there is a detection in China, regardless of the severity, it needs to be notified through the Department of Ag, and that responsibility is also applicable to non-packer exporters through this MITRAC notice. As an outcome of any port of entry detection, there is a requirement for the department to conduct a root cause analysis with the establishment, as well as a corrective action feedback process. So we've instigated with the Department of Ag a report that goes to China on a 6-monthly basis that basically provides China an analysis of what went wrong and what has been corrected in response to their GAC monthly reports. So overall, in relation to the purpose, obviously you can see on screen that our overall, our non-compliance rates, so Australia is here at 0.002%, and we are one of the lowest non-compliance countries in the whole world, as opposed to Brazil, Argentina, Russia's sort of off the charts. This data comes from the GAC monthly reports that we've just correlated together to get this sort of data. But again, because we are talking about a system of continuous improvement, and as you know, probably one carton can actually cause a suspension. So we want to obviously reduce that risk as much as possible. So the purpose of this course is to ensure that we have that broad industry knowledge, particularly for new starters in documentation. It could be a refresher for those who are already obviously very active in the system, as well as creating that linkage back to MICOR, and obviously reinforcing China's requirements around the importance of certification and labelling integrity, ensuring that the industry is aware of the consequences of non-compliance throughout the supply chain. So it's up and down the supply chain, and overall it's to enhance compliance. In terms of industry dissemination, obviously through the China Trade Group, MINTRAC through QA networks and other on the distribution lists, AMPC through processor networks and today's webinar, AMIC, we've disseminated it through prime cuts, through our circulars, through the Refrigerated Warehouse and Transport Association, as well as AUSMATE. And in closing, just wanted to thank obviously AMPC for funding this project and MINTRAC for pulling it all together. We have gone through a process of user testing, so thanks to all those who participated in that, as well as RWTA for disseminating this within their networks, and the ongoing support for the project through the China Trade Group. So that's it from me.
Okay, so thanks, Mary, for that. It's a bit of a time coming, but so happy to have this to be able to offer to everyone, now. So I think we've got the opportunity now to hand over to Tanya Minahan from MINTRAC, and she'll take us through the course itself. Thank you, Tanya.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks, Mary, for that introduction. Let's just get our screen up. Sorry, won't be a sec. Oh, sorry guys. Okay. Right. Excellent. Okay, well, first of all, I just want to thank you for coming along to our presentation today and showing interest in the product that we've created. I'm sure there'll be questions, and as Amanda said, we greatly encourage you to ask as many questions or raise queries as you like. So firstly, a little bit about myself. I have been with MINTRAC for 5 years now, and as Amanda said, I've been working behind the scenes. I initially started at reception, managing the setup of network meetings and products. Got to know a lot of people by names, but now being a project manager, I've been able to put some faces to the names, which I really appreciate. I've also worked with actually all different types of proteins and protein sectors. I'm a certified learning and development professional and have good online learning skills and experience leading several industry projects, such as the development of the China e-learning program. My contact details are there on the page. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'd also like to acknowledge AMPC for the inception of this project and for their guidance with the content, AMPC for funding the project and making it possible, AusMeet for their valuable input, and Management for Technology for their help with the content creation, specifically with our labels. I'd also like to thank Colac, Thomas Foods, and Doughboy Cold Stores for all their help with the process as well, and helping me to understand the export process, which was a big learning curve. Okay, so let's get on to the course. So we're going to just go through a few screens here. These are just screenshots from the course itself that'll take you through so that you get a look and feel for it. This is the contents page. As you can see, it tells you how long it takes, the fact that you don't have to worry if you need to stop, because it take a little while to get through this course. You can come right back where you left off and start again. So you just need to watch out for the little blinking arrows along the way. They're the ones that will help you with any hints and tips in the course. And everything is laid out. The 5 modules of the course are laid out there. And then here is the way they're laid out. At the beginning of each module, we've got the contents of that module set out for you, so you know what you're going to be looking at and learning about. Each module has at least 1 knowledge check. Some have more than 1. This one is merely to move the flow, so you're changing the order of the items into correct lines. And the knowledge checks will always tell you whether you're right or wrong, and give you the actual correct answer as well, as you can see there on the screen. Either way, you will get, and just so that you know, there's only 1 attempt required or allowed for each knowledge check, and correct information is always presented. Okay, each section also has a review page. So it has the information that we've just been through, reviewed in the dark highlighted colour. And we use all the real world information, including these labels, which was created for us from an actual labels that were sent to China with these products exactly as. We simply and took all the identifying information out so that you can rely on these information being true and correct. All descriptions have been taken from MyCall, which is where they should be taken, and followed the information on. And on this screen, you'll see the blinking cursor down the bottom, the blinking arrow, sorry, which indicates that you'll see the, which indicates the simplified Chinese is also inside the course as well as the English. We've done the inside and the outside label from actual labels that were used as well. We cover a lot of the some of the common errors that occur with labels, as Mary was talking about, the inner and outer labels not matching, batch numbers not matching, errors that are inconsistent, product line times which cause inconsistencies, and the common faults that occur with RFPs as well. Once again, batch numbers, packing dates, freezer dates, durability dates. They're things that just can cause so much trouble without being accurate. Consequences of real life errors are shown. This is a highlight of the course. We like to go through and show what can actually happen, and these are actual, incidents that have happened. The link to the information is down the bottom for each page. If you want to go and check or read the full story, you can do so, but these are all real life consequences that have happened through errors. We talk about traceability and MTCs as well, both written and eMTCs. We talk about why traceability is important. Then I'd like to take you through the course and the registration process as it is at the moment. So just bear with me. Sorry,
Tanya.
Yeah.
I'm just getting a couple of people that say that they can't see your screen. So what we might do is try and reshare it if that's
sure. Sorry. People can stop.
Maybe if you can stop sharing. Sorry, everyone. We'll just try and see if that improves.
Sorry, I didn't realise that was happening.
Okay, and then maybe.
Okay, now?
Yeah, try again now.
So I've reshared. Can anyone see it now?
If someone can just type in the question, if they can see it, because I've been able to see it the whole way through.
Amanda, I can see it.
Belinda, if you're online, or Josh, can you just, so someone can see it now and one can't. So maybe those, yep, so quite a few people are saying that they can see it, so that's great. If anyone's having problems, just log out. Perfect. Thanks everyone for coming back so quickly. Excellent. And sorry to disturb you, Tanya.
No, you're right. Amanda, do you need me to go back to any of the screens?
Look, it's being recorded as well, so we'll send the recording for those that have missed anything out to everyone. That would be great.
Awesome. Okay. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
So just bear with me. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can, okay. Well, that's not right, sorry. Okay. Can I just confirm that you guys can see the video that's running on the screen?
Yes, can see it.
We can see it.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, so this just takes you through the registration process that we currently have in place. This will not be how it is full time. This is just at the moment, and now we're going through to the course. So this is the actual course here. You can see you can restart at any time. This is what you will come through to do the course. Navigations around the edges, your menu on the side, all the contents, and your navigation down the bottom. Here again, access to Michael is required to complete this course. You will have to answer some questions from MyCore to move forward. There's the blinking arrow that's showing you again. Contents, the resources page, where we've put the important links that you may require, all in there. And just go back to the beginning and we move on. This is the overview of the module, some of the internal pages. This video is just to give you an overview of the course. This is the knowledge check that we were just looking at. Let's select the right order that everything goes in, the flow of information. Submit and continue. Okay, there's the review page. The labels with all the information there. That one has 5 knowledge checks for labels. All your MTC has 1. RFPs. Some of the common faults with the RFPs. And the review page, you'll see here, request for permit is highlighted because that's where we're up to, but we've left all the beginning materials there as well, so it just adds to the story. So you can navigate either through the menu or using the next and previous. All consequences of errors. There is a lot of repetition, but that's simply to get the points through. And back to the resource page where we started from. Now here is the results page. You can see because we've only completed 1 knowledge check that we didn't quite pass. Anybody trying to do the course needs to get the 80%, which is really not that hard. You can redo the course anytime you like. You can exit or you can request a certificate, which at this point is another form, 4 simple questions. And we only do it like this because we have to keep records for 10 years. So we need to make sure that we're matching up people who have done it so that if a record is questioned, we can 100% guarantee that we've got all the records saved. Okay. Problems goes there, and then, sorry, and we go back to this one, to here, and then you are presented with your certificate of completion. Of course, your name will be written there, not mine. And that really covers off the basics of the course. There's a lot more in the course, but as I said, a lot of it is we're repeating similar information over and over again. It's really to reinforce the need for accuracy and the need for removing any errors that may occur. So I would like to thank you for coming today to see the course and to see our presentation. If you have questions, we have some time now if anyone has questions, or you can contact me after this webinar and I'm happy to answer any queries or concerns there. Amanda, do we have any questions at all? Oh, Matt, sorry.
No, I was. I suppose one of the questions that we would ask, as normal within a course, these things take a bit of time, take a lot of development work, and obviously holding onto records and the like is certainly not. There's a lot of work involved in that side of it as well. Just wanting to inquire this course, I suppose the costs of the course
Sure.
for AMPC members, for AMIC members as processors, and then the costs for people who are non-members. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Matt. So there are only 2 charges that were attained, well, were decided, I suppose, and one was for AMIC members and one was for rest of industry. Matt, you actually bring up a good point. So it's not an expensive course. So AMIC members, it's $20, and for rest of industry is $35 plus GST. Some of you will have already accessed the course, but you would not have received a certificate. So as of this afternoon, the course access will be closed off without payment. And then if you proceed to do the course, you'll receive your certificate. I had left it open purely to help encourage interest in the course and show you what's involved so that you can pass on to your other people in your plants whether you want them to do the course.
All right, thank you, Tanya. I do have a question from Michelle Jory from the web. I'm not sure where she's from, but she's asking, in a nutshell, who's the course aimed for? So you know, what I suppose occupations within the
Sure.
the meat industry is this course targeted
Yeah,
to?
absolutely. It's really to do with anybody that touches export documentation specifically to China. It's anybody that's starting out or anybody that wants a refresher. So if you are touching export documentations of any sort in any place, then this course is for you. Mary, did you want to elaborate on that at all?
No, that's pretty much it. It's anyone who actually, you know, would benefit from, because it does provide a whole sort of documentation overview from start to finish. So it would help anyone, you know, if they're doing a very specific job on the documentation side to help them understand the broader supply chain.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who's touching documentation, exporting documentation for China, this is the course for you.
Okay, so I have no further questions that have come through. So a question I do have for you, when you're going through, obviously sometimes we muck up and we accidentally press the wrong radio button to answer a question and the like. How many attempts do you get at each questionnaire?
Each question?
I suppose?
Yeah, so each question, there's only one attempt that's been allowed for each question. But you can go back through at the end of the course, you can go back through and retry, or you can review, and it will show you all your questions that you've answered and show you what the right questions were. And then you can go back through and redo the just the knowledge questions.
Okay. Now, thank you very much, Tanya, for that one. I've got another question. I'm trying to read who it's from. It's from Jennifer McGregor also. How do you access the course?
Yeah, that's a great question. It will be housed on the MINTRAC website, and there will be plenty of banners on the front page advertising where it is, and it will be a simple click on the MINTRAC webpage.
And I would imagine as well through Prime Cuts on the AMIC newsletter, there'll probably be a link through to it on that. And I would say any communications newsletters that we have going from AMPC will have a link to it as well in the near future. So the course is live now, so it's something that's very, very important to get in if you feel you need the update. I have another one from Ainsley Colbert. Does it just have to be China, or can it be for anywhere else?
Great question. So currently, this course is focusing only on the MyCore, the China section of MyCore. If you look at your own country's section of MyCore and substitute the information, then I don't see any problems. The flow of information still has to be correct, it still has to be accurate, and you still have to source it from the one source. So there's no reason why you couldn't, but if you have a specific country that you are having troubles with and you would like it developed, send me an email.
No, that's really a good answer there. Thank you very much. I've got another question here from Lyle Davies. Does it time out? Can you leave it if you get busy? So this is from someone obviously who only gets very short stints to be able to probably sit there. And if you are sort of doing it in the middle of your day kind of thing, how does that how does that go?
It will time out eventually. Honestly, I can't tell you at what stage, but you can restart from where you had finished. So if you have to step away, you can just come back and restart where you were. You won't lose your place.
Okay, fantastic. Robert Cox also asked, will payment be by credit at the time of registration? So how's the paywall work?
Yeah.
Is that from using a credit
So
utilization of a credit card?
credit cards, if you have an account with MINTRAC, direct deposit, any of the normal ones that MINTRAC normally takes. So if you have an account, we can just raise an invoice and send it through to your accounts department. We just need to know how many people need to be doing the course.
Okay. Any Dorothy Dixes from Amanda or Mary while I'm waiting for any further questions to come through?
No, I think all the questions
don't-
that have been actually covered all my questions, Matt. So well done to Mary and Tanya. They've covered off the information, and hopefully you got lots of clicks on the course. What I might do is get Tanya to send the link to me, and when we send out this video, webinar has been recorded. I understand that there's been quite a few people that have had issues with sound and being able to visually see some of the documents. So we'll make sure that we send it out by tomorrow, and we'll also include the link as well.
Yeah, so I'll add those answers to those questions into the presentation as well before I send it to you, Amanda, so that you'll have the information we discussed here as well as the recording. Just one other thing. Oops, it's gone. I'm sorry, it's just gone. I was going to say something.
There's been a question coming through. Is the link on the MINTRAC website? Yes, it is. It's posted up.
It will be after this. It hasn't been set live yet because people are being given a preview. So they've been allowed to, since the invitations were sent out, they've been allowed to go in, have a look. No certificates have been issued. So we'll start fresh this afternoon once I click the live button, and it will be ready to go.
Okay. So thank you very much for
A quick question
coming
from
on.
me,
And,
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mary. Yep.
Oh, sorry, just
You there,
to
Mary?
ask, how do we keep this information?
Yes, Mary, that's
that coming
exactly what. Yeah, that was the point I was going to make. The course will be updated if there are any, as the minor changes come through, we will update the course and let previous participants know there's been an update and ask them to come back in and redo the course. If there are major changes, then that's another process we'd need to talk about a bit later, but the course will be kept up to date as changes happen in the industry. And there will be a review every 12 months of the course just to make sure that everything else is still up to date as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so again, I say thank you very much, Tanya, for coming on. Thank you, Mary, for giving us the context of why a course like this was needed. And I encourage everybody who's out there who has anything to do with ensuring the veracity of our documentation going to China and indeed anywhere else overseas really has a go and does this training. It'll be very useful for everybody. I'm signing off here for myself. Hold on, I do have another question that's come through. Another couple of questions, last minute ones. Here we go. Was the inner label created by a China establishment? Asks Jane Strawn.
Yes. The inner and outer label were both created actually from actual labels that were sent to China. So they are China specific labels, yes.
Okay, Lyle Davies again has asked another question. Thanks, Lyle. We have some very experienced staff in our docs team. If we have any suggestion, can we send these through?
Yes, please. Yes, that would be another point I would like to make. Would love to hear feedback. If you can suggest any minor improvements that I can do straight up. Anything major is another situation, but I would love to hear any feedback, good, bad, and ugly, seriously. Yep.
Very good. Michael, I think it's Michael from New South Wales. Is a new payment required each attempt? So if I go through and I fail a couple and I end up under 80%, I can come back through because I'm already registered?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. That's good news to know. Okay, so I'll hand over to you, Amanda, if you'd like to.
Great, thanks for attending.
Wrap up.
And thanks, Matt, Tanya, and Mary for putting all the time and effort into doing this webinar, and also all the backgrounding to get it to the point where it is now, which is fantastic. So we'll make sure that a copy of the webinar goes out to everyone that has registered. You can share that around, obviously, through your organisations, because I know so many people are busy, they may not have been able to attend. And any questions in the first instance, I would say direct them to Tanya at MINTRAC. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. And our next webinar is actually on Thursday for anyone interested, which is around water recycling, and Matt Deegan is the lead from AMPC running that webinar. So thanks, everyone, and enjoy your afternoon.
Thanks,
Thank you very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.